Okay. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this and just acknowledging on camera that you've signed a release form. Also, thank you for that. And that you
Yeah.
know this is going public, it's going to be on
Yeah.
YouTube. And the reason I'm doing these is just in service to others because so much therapy and coaching and personal change stuff happens behind closed doors.
Hmm.
And we learn better from each other, and we don't live in villages anymore where we would be a part of and see each other going through things.
Mm.
And so, what I find happens so often is people think they're the only one suffering with something when we're all suffering with the human things that humans suffer with. So, I wanted to create a series of showing like when you're paying someone for service, you should come in with a problem, leave with a solution. There should be some sort of something that you
Yeah.
get out of it because I'm hearing from too many people that they're going to coaching and they're just talking. They're not doing,
Mm.
they're not creating a structure, they're not doing those things. And plus, we just learn from watching each other. So, but also it takes a lot of guts to let these things go online. So I just appreciate that.
Thank you.
Um, you're delightful to work with always.
And likewise.
When people fill out their form, sometimes by the time we make it to the session, it's different. But so what's up for you today? Still the income savings
Mm.
clients
Yeah,
or
it's yes, because I've been obviously the magic of filling out what you guys call an intake form or what I call a
yeah,
getting to know you form is
yeah,
that it gets the old juices going. You start to think
yes,
about,
yeah.
and so things have been mulling. So for me, um, and I'm healthy, I'm strong, I live in a beautiful home. Um, I've got a gorgeous cat that comes and visits me these days. I'll show you a
Oh,
picture.
oh, I love it.
So people love what I do. When I work with them, they're like blown away. And, if I do talks or whatever, people are going, yeah, yeah, you're amazing. And yet there's this one thing, and it's that I'm not sustainable financially, and I don't live an extravagant
No,
life.
you don't.
And even if I had a lot of money, I like to live simply, but I would like to be sustainable. And I listened to one of the videos that you've already put up, and the lady
Oh,
was saying, yeah, well,
girl. Yeah,
I wanted to give it a like, but
yeah.
also,
Thank
you
you for
know,
that.
it was
Yeah.
just and I put a comment, um, but also seeing, what other people were saying, and she was saying, oh, I'm getting to 50, and I'm there going, yeah, and I'm 62, and I know the feeling. So part of it is I rent.
Okay.
Um, my income is not sustainable. Um, Here in the UK, well, it's like everywhere, but here in the UK, our bills are going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Uh, Normally, I don't worry about that. I do, you know, I used to have a lot of debt, but I haven't now. And I don't go in for the lack mentality, but I do say, you know, does this really wow me? Do I need it in my life? Otherwise, I'm not one that buys lots of bits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I eat well and things like that. But it's like, what is this one thing? And part of me, because I connect and things like that. So part of me is saying, or part of me is getting the it's trusting the process because you know that to live on. And it's like, well, it comes to an end in 7 months' time
Right.
because I'm supplementing. And it's like, well, I could be dead in 6 months' time and it's irrelevant. But I don't think I will be. I don't intend to.
I hope not.
Now, do you see what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
part of me is going, well, I mean, I have been close to the wire quite a few times, and it's always, always, always come through. But part of me is going, why? I don't want to live. I don't want to live like this now.
Right.
I want to have the freedom to go on a holiday. I want to have the freedom to rest when I want to rest more. I want to be able to, if I want someone to come and blitz and clean my house or help me clear my filing cabinet out of, client records that are over 7 years old, just get somebody in and pay them and I'll do it with them, but they'll be doing the moving because of my projector energy, just stuff like that. And it's like, so yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. And I would love for you to be able to not live off that amount and have that just sit there as a magnet to more money in your account, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, it doesn't feel good to see it draining out and not being refilled.
Mm.
And then, okay, and I know that you know, I know that you're no slacker. I know that you don't say you're doing work that you're not actually doing. I know you know how to work and you do.
Mhm.
Um, so has there ever been a time where it was easy? There was more than enough.
Yeah. Ironically, in 2020, when we were all shut down,
Yeah.
and what happened there was um, couldn't go networking. I couldn't run around. I used to go and see my mom like 3 times a week when she was in a home, and that was like 40 minutes driving one way. So I worked out that I spent like 12 hours a week um, visiting my mom, which I didn't mind because I adored her. And then there was loads of stuff I did for her as well. So it all stopped. And so I was working with my clients online, and also I was doing some subcontract work with client funnels. So that was like a third of my income and the rest. And I did my best year ever. So I did 48 grand
Okay.
turnover, 50% profit. And that was like perfect.
Okay. So before that, it hadn't been sustainable either.
No, it was, I'd come from, that was the peak. So basically, back in 2014, when I started working with Fully Booked and Mark and Lucy, I think I was turning over like 14 grand.
Okay.
And then over the years, I'd have like a 40, 50% increase. And then the following year, like a 3 to 5, and then like 37%. So it was a gradual up and up and up. And it peaked at the pandemic in 2020. Then what changed was, because I know that's the next question, what changed was I did a service swap with Mark, and I was doing their high ticket program. And so that dropped my income. And basically, I focused on the program. And actually, that's where I really learned about my energy. So I was focused on doing the high ticket, doing a webinar. So all these skills you know, that you've seen in me, that's where I learned them. However, what I learned the hard way was, because I didn't know this, I was focusing on the program, took my attention off my normal stuff because in my head it was like do this and within 6 months. So it was a bit of a sacrifice now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain in your
yeah,
case.
which
Yeah.
is, but in July, I crashed. I had a burnout because I didn't
Okay.
know I was a projector in those days.
Okay.
And I badly burned out. And I got my first client. I got my first client with it. But then I burned out. and it just went. And then I had to stop the whole thing. I kept going until the following February, and then that just crashed my income back down to 24 grand.
Okay. When we think about you getting that client and doing the mechanical things for marketing, are there pieces that you need to do that you're not doing for whatever reason?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've never been consistent with my marketing.
Okay.
I've been consistently inconsistent. And
I know
uh,
that. I know that feeling.
it's my great phrase. And obviously, the work I did alongside you, learning all like Canva, because it was
Yeah.
like learning Canva, it's like, oh, I'm too tired to learn it. And so all the skills I learned was through doing, contract work.
Yeah.
And through doing the contract work, I was also learning for my own business. So, I'm an absolute whiz on Canva now. I'm creating a webinar on it at the minute, but
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'll show it you when it's done. But so So yeah, it was like getting the skills, then obviously so this webinar has taken me, the Story Lab and the webinar has taken me a long time. It's probably taken me 18 months. Whereas when I crashed and burned, that was like in 7 months.
Yeah.
And I did the webinar and it was out there and I was doing Facebook ads and all that sort of stuff. And that cost me a lot of money. Whoops. So what I've learned this time is to keep my business going and
Yes.
focusing on that and doing like this stuff in between when I feel good.
Okay.
If I don't feel good, then I don't do it because I'm putting that slog bleh,
Right.
energy in it.
Right. Um, this feels like two things. I know that you have nervous system capacity to bring in at least 48 because you did do it. And
Yes.
once we've done it, we don't forget. And also, some people will bring in 48 and then because their system can't hold it, they'll shove it right back out again. I don't think that's what happened here. I think you brought it in and circumstances changed and it hasn't come back up to that. Um, so I know you have capacity for it. The
Good.
other piece that feels, um, like you said earlier, you weren't sure if this is just a trust the process moment. Um, but then your mind is like, how can I do that? I've only got this much amount and it's coming out at this rate and it's going to run out. So it feels like a split here. And it feels like the source of your business not growing on its own to be 48 and beyond is mechanical, uh, not some subconscious driver or some wound that's running the show that you're not aware of. It feels um, it feels like mechanical. Like, do you know what I mean by that?
Not sure.
Okay. It feels like so when some people are marketing and it's not working, it's their energy, right? They're doing the things, but the energy is out of alignment. Whereas for you, it feels like doing more of the mundane level, 3D reality level marketing mechanics, like the tasks, may be a better word. The
Yeah,
mark,
yeah, yeah. That's what I thought you meant, but I just
yeah,
didn't want to assume.
yeah,
So, so yeah, I've always, for me, my best marketing is yapping, as in,
for sure.
I've been doing networking and
Yeah,
haven't done many talks because there's not so many events, good events to do talks to with lots of people. So I'm being very selective because of my energy, but that was where I used to get quite a bit of business. And
yeah,
in that 48K year, I did 7.5 grand 1 month.
Wow, that's great. Yeah. It
Mine,
feels like that. It feels like the gap is not um, inside of you. It's the external things that get you in front of people. And I'm finding that you may have found this too, but I'm finding that among projectors, the best marketing is live or
yeah,
vocal, um, spoken, even more than written. So
that's why I've been doing video shoots.
yes, yeah,
You've seen
yeah.
them.
So, so what I'm, so the way I see it in what I'm seeing right now is like there's you and your energy, and you're learning that it has to go in a certain way. And then these outward tasks that provide a place for your energy to make it into where I can hear it and see it. And it's the task part that
Okay.
is missing. The energy, you have the energy, you have the street cred, you have the experience, you have all this gold, but it's not making it from you to me, like from you
Mm,
to me, like from you to your client. That
yeah.
and the gap is the conduit. So what I'm seeing is like you at the center of the hub of the wheel, and there needs to be more spokes. So if you're,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And part of, so I've done the online course and that's all ready. It does need some tweaks, but I'm
Yeah,
not going
it's
to do
nice
them
though.
yet. It's
Yeah.
so the marketing a spoke that I'm working on is this webinar. And again, it's taken me longer, but it needs to be done in good energy. It is
Yes.
looking good. Um, I've just got the last bit with the offer and things like that. And each step of it, it's like, how is that feeling to me? Does it sound, it's all right typing words, but it's how I speak the words.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been very deliberate with it, putting my energy in. So I think part of me feels like because that process has taken that time, then that's where it is because that's where I've put my attention. Um, and I have, like I say, I have started to do some marketing, but then I'm just aware, going with the wave.
The so the outward tasks I'm seeing like opening more of those conduits. So as simple as live streams for 5 minutes, either on your Facebook page or on YouTube. Um, f- um, you could even message old clients and ask, let them know you're going to do like a Q&A series. It's just an example.
Mm,
A Q&A series, and what questions did, if they could ask you anything, like an Ask Me Anything session. And
what?
then you flip open your phone, or you can even do this lying down because I've done it. You flip open your phone and you just like set yourself up in a way where you're kind of reclining, but you can talk to your phone. You're like, hey, this is um, you don't even have to say, hi, how are you doing? You can just open right with the question. My client's asking, la, la, la. Here's how I would answer that. And then you can look at the camera and then answer that question. Take about 5 minutes, 10
Mm,
minutes, and then give people, like, if you have this question, here's the answer. And now here's a small action step you can take to go do it right now. Go take this
mhm,
action step right now. So a total of less than 15 minutes for sure, 5 or 10 minutes, and that goes on YouTube. Or
mhm.
do you have a YouTube? You do, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I've been
Yeah.
putting all the shorts on the YouTube. I've done
Okay.
14 of them so far.
Okay. So more of those. And then Facebook is really bad about if you put any kind of YouTube link on there, they just bury it. So doing a mass link or directly uploading that video in both
Mm,
places, on Facebook and on YouTube. Because if you upload just a regular video to Facebook, it'll get far more traction than if you try to link it to YouTube.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Use Buffer to schedule my videos to Facebook, Insta, and
Okay.
TikTok.
Okay. Okay. And then the other thing um, is asking for, like, for me, you can live stream in my human design group whenever you want.
Cool, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I might have to make you an admin, but that's okay with me that you go in and you live stream whenever you want. That's what they're showing me is like, you know what a megaphone is, right? The thing
Yeah,
that,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it's like more without you expending more energy, letting this object amplify your voice. So you are still in your energy and contained, but the task part makes it louder, makes it go farther.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I get that.
It's the lack of your voice. It's the lack of v- voice avenues for your voice, those spokes on the wheel, more
Hmm.
spokes, because all your people are listening and there needs to be more voice in the world, more of your voice.
Okay.
That makes sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So then the other thing I'm seeing is you have more control over that energetic wave than you think.
Okay.
Right now you're and this is all perfect and fine. Right now, you've been amping up your awareness of the wave and,
Hmm.
and practicing honoring the wave. And now they're saying you can take control of the wave. So in a way, they show me so the image I see is you on a floaty, like on water, like in the
Hmm.
sun, and you're floating and the waves are carrying you. And they're saying now you can steer the ship because you understand what it feels like. You understand it's up and down. You understand not to fight with it.
Hmm.
But so I'm seeing like a sailboat now, and they're saying you're invited to raise the sails and leverage the energy in a greater way and to pull more in, like through the bottoms of your feet. I know you are very in tune with nature, but they're showing me like there's a glass wall. You're in nature, but there's also a bit of a separation.
That makes sense
Okay. Why does that make sense? Where do you feel that?
because being in this house, I've got greenery all round me and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. However, because I spend a lot of time working, I'm in the house.
Hmm.
And so I do go outside. I do go for a walk every day. I go off for my
Yeah.
uh, spirit horse retreats and things like that. And as much as I love this house, part of me, it's like I feel that craving because I
Okay.
can't do the way it's set up here. I can't do my work outside,
Okay.
because I'm on the laptop. Um, and stuff like that. And so part of my plan is to automate stuff so that I've got best of both worlds, so that I'm sat in front of the laptop, but then I can get out. And so, yeah, that's why that makes sense to me.
Okay. There's that, and then there's an energetic piece that when more of the that earth energy comes into your system, it agitates your system. So let me see if I can. So you're like resonating at this level.
Hmm.
We have a $48,000 cap.
Hmm.
To go up to a $58,000 cap means more energy has to come in. But when more energy starts coming in, your system is squashing it down.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's physically nervous system, nerve ending, brain chemistry, literal physical body agitating. So it's like you go out in nature and you get this much. And they're saying you have the ability to pull in more so
Hmm.
that you're getting this much.
Yeah, yeah.
And then your body is like, ooh, I don't know. I don't like that. It's uncomfortable or whatever. And then through your practices and your being with your body and being present with your body, then you come up and you're resonant at this level.
Cool.
So that it's like this, and it's not a lot, but it's like your body's receiving energies, but it could receive a whole lot more.
Right, okay.
You could raise the sails on the sailboat and allow, that's the key. And I know you understand this, but for
Mm.
anyone watching, there's no effort involved in this kind of expansion. You're allowing the sails to come up on the sailboat. They're already there. You're allowing them to open. You're allowing it to catch the wind and carry you further. And your work is to feel the discomfort in that expansion and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be with it to be. So what tools do you use when you're having those kinds of expansions that help you stay with it long enough that it becomes your new normal, so to speak?
Well, I do meditate every day. I have got my grounding mat in my bed
Yeah.
where I do sleep on a grounding mat. Well, my feet are on them. Um, when I feel agitated, I so I'm a holistic coach, ego integration jobby. And so when I feel that a part of me kicking off or getting upset or feeling a bit agitated, then I do go in and have that inner dialogue
Okay.
uh, of me that wants to do nothing. There's a part of me that says, I've worked hard, I've done everything, I'm fed up now. I just want to stop. I want to play. I don't want to do anything at all. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's that hanging out in your body?
My throat.
Okay. And are you arguing with it or trying to convince it?
I'm um I'm not arguing, I'm negotiating, which says, I hear you. I know I hear how you feel, and yeah, because you're part of me, I feel it too. But I've got this wicked plan, and it's the plan that we're doing. And it's like, I want you to bear with me. However, I also want to, we are having time out, so that's going to Spirit Horse and going for a walk and things like that. And if I'm sat at the computer and I go, "Bleh," and it goes no, it's like I promised to stop. So
Okay.
there's some negotiation going on there. So I was doing the webinar a bit earlier, and then I
Okay.
began to feel like, and it's like, okay, we're done.
Okay. So you are honoring it.
Because the thing is, I that part of me is weary. She's been working hard, and she's been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. And it just feels it's a weariness. It's like there never seems to be any let up.
Yeah. The working without reward.
Yeah. And it's been a theme. When I worked in corporate, I wouldn't get pay rises
Okay.
and, I'd be stuck.
And so does that, well, is that yours or is that something that was modeled?
The work I got modeled.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it belongs to you.
No.
It feels like you, it feels like, we come in and we get our operating instructions from the people around us. And it
Mm,
feels like that's what somebody else was doing. And you were like, okay, well, this is the way the world works. I work and work and work and work, and it's never enough, and I never get ahead. And I'm just
mm.
weary. So as we're talking about that, who modeled that?
Well, what comes to mind is mom, but that's not when we were kids because she didn't work when we were kids.
Yeah.
But um, when she did work, is it mom? I'm not sure.
Well, I wonder if she may have felt that way as a parent, that she worked and worked and worked as a parent, and all these kids just keep wanting more and more. Everybody wants more and
Yeah, because mom was a projector,
there you go. Yeah.
and funnily enough, she had a breakdown when she was 29. I worked this backwards. Um, so she had a breakdown when she was 28. But she was still holding it all together, and she'd got
Yeah.
antidepressants from the doctor. She was seeing spirit. I mean, we talked,
Oh, you froze for a
you
second.
know, sorry.
You froze for just a second, but
Uh,
I think we're fine. She got antidepressants. She was seeing spirit. That,
mm,
yeah, okay. So you being a projector in human design is all that open space. And so you would have been feeling all of that from the get-go.
mm.
And it yeah, it just doesn't feel like yours. So if you ask your system, like, is this mine or is this just something I've learned?
Right, okay. It's something I've learned. It's not my mom.
Okay.
Feels like my dad actually. He's a man gen. Not that
Okay.
I've not seen him for years, but um, he was building when we were babies. He was building the business, and there was a lot of financial. Oh shit! Here we go. There was a lot of financial angst.
Yeah.
And mom had us. Well, when she had me and then my brother, she had my sister a bit later, but she was trying to handle all us, but also she was worried about money because my dad lost a big contract. Um, and so, you know, they did pay the workers, but they didn't get any money. That's what I've picked up in it.
Yeah. 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 Because I know you're capable, and there's these mechanical pieces where you can get more avenues for your voice out in the world. And then you've mentioned this because we've worked together both directions
Mhm.
plenty of times, and this tired part of you, it doesn't shift.
Mm,
If it was you, all the negotiating and respect that you're giving it and the processing, it would be evolving, changing, and it's not.
mm,
But because it came so early, I think it's a voice that feels like you, but it's not you.
yeah, because yeah, it does feel like me. Um, yeah, it's interesting as well that when I was doing at Spirit Horse doing the Enlightenment Intensive, very long story short, I did have a direct experience of me seeing me. But what happened before then, there was I went inside and it was like, and I said to myself, who am I? And I got nothing. And I said, who's nothing? And this horrible voice came up, and I was doing this to myself.
Yeah.
Wow, you're nothing. Who do you think you are to do all the things that I want to do and all my big dreams? And
Yeah.
it was going like that. The
Yeah.
diad part was 5 minutes, so it was rah, having a right
Oh,
old rant. And then it fell back dead like that. And
yeah.
then fell back dead. I got a sharp pain in the shoulder
Yeah.
in the bit that doesn't seem to be rotator cuff. And then that's when I had the direct experience. It was like sun coming out.
Mm.
And it was just like overwhelming and joy and tears down my face and everything. But there was that nasty bit.
Yeah. Yeah. This feels very similar to what you're describing.
Mm,
Like an overlay, a shroud almost.
yeah.
When you come into a family as a bright light, as you are that sunlight, sunflower, bright light. It's pretty typical that somebody in the family will try to dim that, turn the volume down,
Mm,
because it's disturbing, right? When you move through a room and you're a bright light, it's disturbing to the people who don't want that light
mm,
or they're not ready for it. And it feels like as you that you got something laid over you, like, oh, and you heard it probably, I'm tired, I'm so tired,
mm,
whatever was said around you. And it feels like your system just sort of sponged that up, like, oh, this is life, this is the way it is. We're tired all the time and we work hard all the time and we don't get anything out of it and we don't get even gratitude or recognition or like nothing comes, all this effort and nothing comes.
wow, yeah. That's what I'm feeling now is from my heart space up to my throat. There's like a there's just like this tube and it's
Yeah,
vibrating.
yeah. So, what does your system want to do with that? Because you're meant to be dynamic and alive and energized whenever you want to be.
Exactly. And that's been my frustration,
Yeah.
because I have it all like, yeah. Because I went to the cacao club. It's n no drugs, no alcohol, great time. You have cacao, you do the
Oh,
dancing, then you have a sound bath, and then
oh, oh,
you chuck out home. It's total sober.
I love that.
And that was excellent. I had the energy for it. It was great. But yesterday I was laid out.
Yeah. So, what I'm hearing is you're laid out because you're following instructions, not because you're really laid out.
Mm. Well, what my system would like to do with that is chuck out that program because it's not mine.
Yeah. So, when you go out and you expend all that energy, what they're saying is bring more in. That you're not, you are wave-like, but not in the way your system is understanding it now, where it's more like the doors open or the doors closed, doors open, doors closed. And they're saying that you can take control of that. And when you feel those doors closing, you open them because the instruction is, oh, you are happy, you're joyful, your light is shining now. Now shut that down. Don't bother me with it.
Yes. And I used to get that from my stepmother.
Oh, okay.
Um, I remember once, yeah, because I've got a bit of a sense of humor, and it's an understatement. And apparently, when I was a kid, um, was it Bonnie Langford or somebody on the telly, child star type thing, and my grandparents said to me, "Oh, and seriously, oh, Mags, Margaret, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I just went, "I'm going to be a proper little madam," like something I'd seen on the TV.
Yeah,
And anyway, they thought it was hilarious. So I
yeah.
was, and they told June, and I got a bollocking.
Oh,
And I was only joking. So anything I did.
you're not allowed to be so vibrant.
Mm, So it feels to me, it's like I want to go out and do stuff, but financially it's like eek. But even to go for a walk and do free stuff, it's like I either do my work or I play. I can't do both. And I've tried, and what I try and do, negotiating with this part of me, is I do some and some.
Yeah,
But
I'm hearing that you can have both.
yeah,
You can have it all. It is him by modeling her on purpose, shutting you down because
yeah, she did.
you didn't like you or whatever. She couldn't handle it.
Mm,
Those two instructions are still written in your book, uh,
mm,
policies and procedures manual, your
yes.
internal, you know?
Oh, let's get rid of them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so if you want, imagine that book is open and where are they and can you erase them completely or do they need to be rewritten?
Um, I think they need to be rewritten because erasing them just takes the not out, which is a good
Correct.
thing.
Yeah,
But it would be nice to say, I have all the energy and vibrancy I want at any given moment to
yes,
work, to use it in a fun and inspired way while honoring my physical body.
yes,
And the other and that so that's the energy part, and the other part, the other instruction about being like shrouded over and not being allowed to shine, so to speak. It's like my purpose here is to shine vibrantly for my that's the instruction.
yes, yeah. You're meant to do it. You're meant to be radiant and alive and always following the sun. You know, the
Yeah, well, that's what
sunflower
my
really couldn't
sunflower's
be a
about.
more, it couldn't be more
Mm,
perfect, right?
mm,
Sunflowers bring can restore depleted soil, right?
mm.
Sunflowers are often planted here anyway. Sunflowers are planted in fields that have been depleted because the sunflower will add life back to soil. I think it's nitrogen. I'm not sure,
Mm. No,
but
I'll look that up.
it puts life back into depleted soil.
I
Um,
didn't know that. That's an extra layer to
yeah,
my
yeah,
sunflower.
yeah, yeah. So when you're following the sun, you have the energy you need.
Mm,
When you're following your joy, your bliss, your desire, when you're following play, you have it. And the only thing that has been in the way of that is as you start to have it, your system says,
yeah.
close the door. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get attacked. You're going to get shamed, whatever happened.
Mm,
And you're like, wait a minute, that's a conditioned response.
yeah. Yes. And the other thing I'd made my mind up with as well was in, but I was like thinking, how do I make marketing fun? And I have got ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and she's called my spirit VA, and we talk witchy, cauldrons, wands, and brewing and things like that. And so, again, as a projector who needs to express, I don't, I don't let ChatGPT. I get ideas or I expand my ideas with it, but it has to be my voice.
Definitely.
Otherwise, it doesn't work for
Yeah.
me. It doesn't work
It's a
for
good
anybody.
spark. Yeah, it's a good spark.
Yeah, yeah,
It lights a fire, but then yeah, it has to be cooked in your cauldron
yeah.
and finished. Um, so another thing about sunflowers is their stem is really big.
Mm,
right? A regular flower is just a little stem, but sunflowers have big stems.
yeah.
They're
They're
drawing
quite
all kinds of
woody,
energy.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going both ways, right? They're drawing in that sunlight. It's adding life force to the planet, and all that life force comes right back up, and they have access to it, and they're big. So
Mm,
that image of raising the sails or just opening up to the broader diameter of energetic flow that is your natural self. It's just been being pinched by
yeah,
the,
yeah. That makes sense. And I can feel that energy going up my body as you've been talking.
yeah,
It's like, whew.
yeah. So when you think about your least favorite task to do right now, does it feel like you can move through it really efficiently?
So what's my least favorite task? Cleaning the bathroom. I get someone else to do that. Um,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
but no, I mean, doing the webinar, I mean, doing the online course, I love tatting. I love doing the videos. I love editing. Doing the webinar, when I said to you at the beginning, it was like, oh, um, I, I don't, I don't know how to use Canva. Now I just love playing in it because it's
It's
my
fun.
creativity.
Yeah.
And you've seen what the inside of my course looks like.
Yes, it's
And
beautiful.
it's all golden, sparkly, sunflowers, people with, all the golden colors and things like that. And I just love that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. So when you think about having a $10,000 chunk of money land in your lap, are you able to receive that or does it feel like, that's a lot?
No, I'd love it.
Okay. Yeah.
That my heart's feeling expansive and it also having a 10 grand chunk of money, it's also a relief. There's a feeling of relief.
Right. Right. So one thing I would offer you, and by the way, when you mentioned amplifying appreciation, I took that advice and I've been using it ever since, and I feel a whole lot better. Yeah, and I did have some money pop in right on the heels of that, but it's like, yeah.
Wow.
So now I'm writing every morning. I'm writing love letters to the clients I haven't met yet, and the clients like on the
Mm.
spiritual level. Um, so as you're doing that appreciation work, they're saying, like I'm hearing, to amplify that sense of relief, to let yourself really feel like, oh, okay, like the door is open now. My stem is open. Like the
Yeah,
flow
yeah, yeah.
is both directions and allow that relief to just ripple through you every time you think about it over the next few days.
Yeah,
Because
that's right.
you'll change it here and then it will go out and then it'll start coming back
Mm,
materially.
amazing. Yeah, the whole central channel
Yes.
into my heart, my throat, it's all bzzz.
Yeah. Yeah. All the way down to the earth.
It is now.
Okay. Yeah. So I was
It
like,
it was
got to
yeah,
bring
it
it into
was
the dirt.
yeah, yeah, it was at my perineum. So
Yeah.
yes, it is down to the earth.
Yeah. So just checking that every day too. So it's not, I mean, it won't surprise you that the person just ahead of you today had the same thing, like giving that connection to the earth so
Mm.
all that you're creating has a place to come land in
Yeah,
physical
yeah, yeah.
reality. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's cool.
Wow.
Does anything else need to be wrapped up with that book? Does it need a stamp of approval or does that feel complete?
Feels complete, but a stamp of approval sounds good. So we'll give it that as well. And
Yeah, chunk chunk.
tuck it back in my heart.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
where it is.
So when the energy dips, you can ask yourself, is this an old habit of closing down because I'm shining so bright? And if it is, you can just reopen that door. Like, yeah, we don't actually have to do that anymore.
Mm-mm.
We're actually an open conduit for energy flow.
Yes,
Then when you rest, it's restorative because I think you rest, but it's not restorative.
correct.
Yeah.
I do rest a lot, and it's not often that I feel totally rested. It hasn't been a thing. When I've been
Yeah.
away, I
Yeah.
feel rested, but not generally. And I do, get quite a lot of sleep and things like that. I'm
Yeah.
not as bad as I was before by
Yeah.
a long, long chalk.
That's good. That's good. Now, without this invisible pinching off of the life force, it should go a whole lot better.
That's exciting. That is exciting.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, I've got to do this stuff. It's like, I want to do it.
Right. Yeah, I know you've said that. Like you really have a strong desire to do
Mm,
your work in the world, and this one thing, like you said in the beginning, this one thing is just continually throttling you back
mm.
and squashing
The
your
only
energy.
thing,
Yeah.
because the rest will flow with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to hear how it goes.
Oh,
Um,
you'll definitely hear.
are you good for now in this part?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.